the next guest we have ready here, and it is going to be from a company called Troika Media. It's ticker TRKA. We have a guy named Bob Machinist. Bob, how's it going? How's your day?
Good morning. How are you? My day
I'm
is
doing
fine.
well.
Thank you.
You are the CEO of Troika, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Again, you got your ticker up on screen right now. It's ticker TRKA. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Troika, Bob?
Excellent. We've put together a bit of a presentation to introduce you to Troika this morning, and I appreciate your time, and I look forward to presenting and then answering any questions that people may have. There doesn't appear to be audio with our sizzle reel.
I'm not hearing it either, Bob. Maybe you can do can you do the sound effects for us? That'd be cool.
Let me just say, as people are watching this, that every single brand here that you see is a long-term client of our company, and this is an example of some of the work that we've done for a significant grouping of these companies. What we are as a company, and I'll sort of let people watch this because you get a very broad range of some of what we're doing. But it's from sports and entertainment, gaming, etc., and you'll see, as well as major brands. We'll address that as the presentation unfolds. And I apologize because there was a very dynamic soundtrack that goes with this that will get you all excited. And whether you're watching the Victoria's Secret show or a coach presentation, which we're looking at right now in London. We are involved in the healthcare space as well, and you'll see a listing of our clients as we get underway during this presentation. So we'll just let everybody complete this and leave it at that. And we owe all the viewers this a presentation with a soundtrack going forward. But just to be clear, every one of these clients is a continuing client of Troika Media, and we are continuing to do significant amount of work for them. People should understand that what we are is a global end-to-end branding and advertising solution company. We're headquartered in New York, with offices and significant operations in London and in California, and we work both in the EU as well as in Asia. We represent a very strong list, which we'll show you in a few moments, of clients, of blue chip clients, where the longevity is as much as 20 years. Our strengths in the company are we are in the branding, advertising, data analytics, performance media, research and insights, content, PR, social relationships, partnerships, and mobile. We're very active in the OTT space, as you would expect. The categories that we cover are entertainment and media, sports, fashion, a significant factor in gaming and esports. We're involved in consumer goods, telco, technology, leisure, and entertainment. And most importantly, on April 19th, 2021, we completed our IPO. We received gross proceeds of $24 million, which enabled us to continue our very active acquisition and expansion opportunity. Next slide, please. What's most important is all the movie theaters, airlines, hotels, football stadiums that have been closed for a year and a half have reopened. And particularly in the areas of business that we're engaged in, we are going to return to growth in most of our business lines and markets. And it's an exciting time to be back in this business. We had a year and a half of dormancy, and it was very, very frustrating. But right now, there's a very increasing demand for branding and innovation, and with significant business mix and client spend shifting to faster growth areas, which are basically experiential, consumer, and technology. Recently, we have been very active in expanding our gaming and esports exposure. And I look forward to talking about that in a few minutes when you look at who some of our new clients are. Our recent major new business wins in the last 4 or 5 months are Wilson Sporting Goods. F45 Fitness just went public last month, which is Mark Wahlberg's fitness company. PointsBet, which is the largest digital gaming company out of Australia and for Australasia. We've just done the rebrand of UFC, and we are working on the Panther Stadium experience, consistent with what we've done in the last year and a half, branding the LA Rams Stadium and the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium as well. We also have just completed part of the rebranding effort for Victoria's Secret, and we're pleased to announce that the Pac-12 conference, we have now concluded the acquisition or the rebranding of every single participant of all the different brands in the Pac-12 conference. And I'm pleased to announce that we launched something called Troika Labs, which is our digital side of our business. And we hired in a very substantial and strong management team subsequent to our IPO. And we continue to add to our capabilities and services in both the crypto NFT space. And 45 days after the completion of our IPO, I'm pleased to remind people that we acquired a company called Redeem, which is a significant factor in the crypto NFT space. And we have been conducting and doing a number of major forays into that area. What's most important, and let's go to the next slide. What are we? We build equity for major brands. And what we do for our brands is we apply emerging technology, data science, and world-class creative, which helps us build strength within our brands. Our mission subsidiary, which is principally based in the UK and New York, is involved in immersive advertising and experience events, content, PR, and social media and partnerships. We then, through our new Troika IO subsidiary, which encompasses the Redeem acquisition and its team, we are providing crypto, Bitcoin, and enterprise-grade NFT solutions. Troika Labs we talked about, which is really the value of the power of data, merging technology with engaging content and compelling experiences to reach a very broad range of consumers, audiences, and fans, which is entirely appropriate for this explosive time for companies re-engaging with their client base. Next slide. Next slide, please. What do we do? Our business is it's a technology-related business. We do substantial research and insights in building our brand equity. We then work on overall branding. We then work on consumer engagement with our branding. And lastly, we look on the amplification of our brands, and we look towards trying to create long-term continuing revenue streams as we engage in these activities. Next slide, please. What's happened as a result of the completion of our IPO? We think that there is a scalable opportunity for our firm to acquire additional strategic assets that are complementary to what we're doing, very similar to what we did with crypto NFT and in acquiring the team that's now running Troika Labs. And we're focused in the communications area, in the experiential area, the commercial area, and most importantly, the technology area as well. Troika IO is a digital media and entertainment platform that optimizes fan engagements using Bitcoin and enterprise-grade NFT solutions. And we're a fintech platform with a 5-year history that empowers businesses to digitize any asset and build their own blockchain-based payment solutions. We've done a series of strategic acquisitions and capabilities to broaden our service base. And what our real goal is in this space is the utilization of this technology to enhance and broaden our clients' offering and experiences. We're trying to create recurring revenue streams consistent with this technology, which will continue to engage our relationship with our clients long into the future, much as we've done historically. We bring with the team a talented team of proven leadership, and they've been tasked with delivering new revenue opportunities for our clients and for further growth for Troika. Next slide, please. You'll see in this slide, I think this slide really speaks for itself. This is an extraordinary base of world well-known brands. Most are extremely successful, and they really range from, as we discussed, in fashion. We just completed a significant new branding exercise for Victoria's Secret. We're continuing to work for Coach and St. Ives. In the beverage space, the list of our clients speak for itself. In products, ironically, we've been very active for Allergan in the pharma and healthcare space. For example, to give you an idea of how the brands have reemerged, we have done the branding for the PGA, and we're responsible for the play under par technology project. And now, for the first time, the PGA is back to weekly tournaments, which is very valuable to our company and their future. And all I can say is the businesses and their active consumer base are exploding with enthusiasm in the recovering global markets. Our next slide will evidence some of this, the impact of this. Bear with me for a moment. These are significant new business wins that our company has accomplished during the last 6 months, basically as a result of the resurgence of what's going on in the marketplace. In the esports business, we now have the 3 largest players on 3 continents: Riot Games, VSPN, and ESL. And we are actively represented in the EU, in the United States, and in Asia. As I mentioned earlier, the Pac-12, every major NBA, NCAA conference in the country, we've rebranded those since early 2020, and these tournaments and events are now starting to take place very actively again. We're particularly excited to tell you that we have really added significantly to the digital gaming space and acquired and have really worked with PointsBet, which is the largest digital gaming company out of Australia, and we represent Yahoo Sports in the United States. You'll see the UFC, we've just done a rebranding. We did a significant rebrand for Wilson Sports. We did, as I mentioned earlier, we did the initial branding of the centerpiece of the LA Rams Stadium. We are now in round 2 of our work for them over the next 12 months. And likewise for Viacom and SoFi Stadium. Next slide, please. What our business really is we are a fan-fueled brand business. And if you look at this list of brands, they range from Yahoo to music to sports to the UFC. It really shows a very wide range of exposure for our company with a wide range of major brand sponsors. Next slide, please. Put the UFC slide up here because they've been a long-term client of our firm. We did a significant rebrand of the company, which really helped it transform into a global powerhouse and led to its $4 billion sale to Endeavor. What I'm really pleased to say, which is why we put this slide up here, is we have been re-engaged this year and are working on the next round of branding and branding expansion for under its Endeavor ownership. Next slide. As I mentioned, we designed the strategic blueprint and graphic system for the Oculus, the world's first 360 double-sided stadium video board at the new SoFi Stadium for the Los Angeles Rams. That was sufficiently successful in its opening that we're now continuing to update our highly well-regarded visual presentation in the center of the stadium, and we're really very actively beginning to develop NFT opportunities together with our Troika IO subsidiary that we think will work well with whether it's the LA Rams Stadium or the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium or other stadiums that we're working with to create long-term collectibles and other memorabilia that are continue to enhance the fan and the brand experience. Next slide. We have had a very strong year, particularly in the game space, and the Kings Group in China is one of our significant clients who are controlled by Tencent, and we look forward to having a number of significant events for not only for the esports games like Riot and Kings, but we're also continuing to work for Peloton, Pac-12, and ESPN, who is a major client, and clearly Yahoo Sports. Next slide, please. This is just a summary of some of the day-to-day leadership of the company. We are really made up by a very talented group of young people who really operate between the UK and New York and Los Angeles, with a number of remote working people that represent our time in this environment.
This is some cool stuff, Bob. I have so many questions for you, and I want to be able to get to a few of them.
Please.
So are you cool to answer a few questions?
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely. This
awesome.
summary, I can give you 2 seconds of summary if you want. It's
go for it.
Yeah, our business and our client base have reawakened as a result of the management of COVID. It's unclear exactly where this will go, but the pent-up demand has been extraordinary, and we think that through the second half of this year and into the first half of 2022, we will get back to where we were on a pre-pandemic level. And because we learned to digitize so much of our business during the pandemic, we have the benefit of both the increased level of experiential commitment by our branding clients, as well as now adding many of the digital things that we've developed over the last couple of years. So we're excited. We've got the right talent. We've got the right clients, and we're working on multiple incremental transactions that we think will continue to expand both our revenue and our technology.
Got it. And I want to give you and Troika an air horn because you are our first and I think our only media brand for our reopening summit. So a little congratulations there.
Thank you very much.
The fans love the air horn. Let me tell you, Bob. So a couple quick questions here. So you just kind of touched on it, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about it. You mentioned experiential for your management team. What does experiential mean?
Well, we did, for example, I'll give you a good for instance. 2 years ago, Tiffany's decided to rebrand or to expand their lower price brand. And we basically represented Tiffany's in New York. And, we painted Fifth Avenue blue. We redid,
cool.
we had Tiffany taxis running around the city. That was a $4.5 million engagement.
Sure.
So that's an experiential thing. At the same time, Richard Branson and the Virgin team for Formula E. Richard Branson drove his Formula E car. This was a little bit more mundane than flying on his rocket. But driving the Formula E car from the racetrack that had been set up in Brooklyn into Manhattan to sort of demonstrate the e-race car. Those are the kind of things that we did.
Cool.
We just did a very significant experiential event in London for one of the scooter rental company that people are well familiar with, particularly if you're in New York or LA.
Gotcha. And you said, you mentioned there was a slide where you mentioned amplification of your client services. It's through doing these kind of innovative, marketing and social kind of things, correct?
Yes. And
Gotcha. Okay.
we did, to give you another, a digital experiential event, Dole Foods decided that they wanted to create a unique NFT piece of art that they were going to auction off to benefit the World Hunger Foundation. And we created that with the artist who did originally the banana at the
Nice.
Art Basel.
That's awesome.
But the beauty of this was that our client Dole really wanted to find a different way to reach their consumers.
Absolutely.
And we helped them create a unique NFT offering that allowed that to occur. And the benefit of that was World Hunger Foundation.
All right, I got two more quick questions for you. And since you were just mentioning NFTs, do you have any other examples of what some of your future NFT offerings are going to be like? This has obviously been a segment of the market that investors have loved lately. So I'm sure our audience out there wants to hear a little bit more about it if possible.
Well, there are many different variations of NFT and Bitcoin, things that we're doing both in the commodity space, the wine storage space, but equally as importantly, when you represent the LA Rams Stadium, with whom we have a very strong relationship,
sure,
they have a game for the purposes of this discussion virtually every week. NFT tickets as collectibles are very important.
Cool.
And so if there was a significant event that occurred at a game and someone had an extraordinary play,
right,
having tickets to that game that were in an NFT structure is, and the same thing holds true for the Las Vegas Raiders and for a number of the other stadiums. And if you look at, Riot Games, when they do a stadium-based game and there are multiple teams involved, they're in stadiums where they have 50 to 75,000 people observing the E teams playing each other. There is enormous opportunity.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I know I save my tickets from Tigers games or Lions games or concerts or whatever. So that makes a lot of sense. Really good question here from Mike in our chat. He said, mentioning all those relationships that Troika had, he asked, can you tell us who some of your largest clients are?
I think that the board really speaks for itself. There sometimes, there'll be significant 7-figure branding exercises that take 1 to 2 years. But for the most part, most of our clients are 7-figure clients that, depending on the level of the events that they're putting on, will drive that revenue. The company pre-COVID was a $45 million business. We think that it will get back well beyond that, and are excitedly rebuilding our business. But in the interim, have taken the acquisition proceeds, bought the crypto NFT company that we did with Redeem,
sure,
brought in this significant new management team to expand our digital technology offering. And we are actively negotiating with and looking at some significant acquisitions that'll be both revenue generating and, we believe, accretive transactions.
Love to hear it, Bob. This is some exciting stuff. I'm interested in Troika for sure. Bob Machinist, Troika Media Group, that's ticker TRKA. Really appreciate you joining us here today, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I should use the crown. It would be better to hide my head.
I'll put it on for you here, Bob.
Thank you. Have a good day.